What's up, chat? Happy Tuesday. That was easy. Make it harder next time. Happy Tuesday, November 9th, 2021. Late lock, small slate, late stream. You know how we do. It's actually the first late stream of the season. Usually I like to stick to the 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. time slot, but today I was like, man, this slate's pretty, I don't know, it looks bad. In terms of, like, not lovely games, a Utah game at Utah, shorthanded Sixers against the defending champions, and a little bit of lingering news. So I just figured, hey, man, we can handle chopping the first hour off and just getting into it in the second hour, and it's still going to be a little bit more laid back because it's a small slate to consume, man. But how are you guys doing? Let me know how you did last night. Last night, a much bigger slate with a bunch of wild scores, including Steph Curry leading all of fantasy point accruers by a mile with 50 real points. 50, 7 rebounds, 10 assists. My man hit 9 threes. That's just what Steph Curry does. That was 86.75 DraftKings fantasy points. The next closest guy, Nikola Jokic, 70 and a quarter. However, 10-11K didn't really find its way to the top of any of the contests I was in, right? Steph Curry outscores him by a mile, and Andre Drummond was the free square of the slate. So wasn't that big of an issue to miss out on for once. But I will say that I'm not. He's matchup proof, right? Goes against one of the toughest center defense matchups you can ask for. Yeah, he's a different breed, archetype wise, basically the point guard. But you thought maybe Bam Adebayo could slow him down just a little bit, and he didn't. So luckily for us, we got bailed out by the Andre Drummond game. Drummond, by the way, a ridiculous 25 rebounds yesterday. He's insane, and tonight he gets a little bit of a price boost, but I think we're going to play him all the same. What's up, chat? Shout out to you guys for hanging out already. Some of you guys were waiting on me. Lincoln Hawk, Lorenzo Robinson, Sean V, Nate Rojas, Mia Moore, JC's Man Cave. Don't worry, I can't leave an abusive relationship either. Holy. What's up, Jim? Channel member Jim Parrish. Hey, Gunner. Can't decide to play Giannis or Paul George. Can't fit them in one lineup. Thoughts? Yeah, well, we're going to be talking about all that. I haven't really tried any lineup construction. Feel like I would be able to get a pair of studs and find some scrubs, but let me revisit that as we get through the nitty gritty here. GS Luke, shout out to GS Luke. By the way, you guys looking for some fire golf content? You want to dip your toes in that? Click on his name. Check him out. I stumbled across him on YouTube. Looks like he puts effort into his content. He doesn't hit record and monotonously talks, man. My man's out there with the production. So shout out to GS Luke. Says, hey, good stuff with the content yesterday. Took 2nd, 3rd, 10th, 14th, and 20th in the tournament I entered for 30x ROI. Wishing I entered the main tournament instead of the $2 mini max. Hey, man, climb that ladder, dog. For me personally, the smaller stuff is a little bit more profitable, especially on DraftKings with their shark preventative measures, right? Under $5, under 25K prize pool, that type of stuff. I don't know if that applies for the mini max though. Don't quote me on that. I think it does, but don't quote me. What up, Justin Sports? What up, Crispy? What up, ABG? Ready to lose all the money, trying to win all the money. Let's go. What up, E Made It Happen? Steph, LaMelo, Jokic, Russ, AD, they all snap. Yeah, it was a good night for ceiling games. And then, of course, it was one of those nights where you babysitted news throughout the slate. We only had one lock at tip or one game at lock. And that's, you guys know yesterday was a mass entry night for me as well. So I basically decided on my Sixers exposure. I decided to get a little bit of Julius Randle once Mitchell Robinson was rolled out, and it was fine. Nothing slate breaking. What I think I did wrong yesterday, if I had to go back and analyze, was I probably went a little too bullish on Frank Kaminsky. Like, he was fine. I think he was still in some of the winning lineups and contests I was in. But I was massively overweight to an already high-owned Kaminsky, and that kind of chopped me at the kneecaps yesterday for some big lineups. However, if you guys follow the channel, you subscribe to the channel, I did post a picture earlier. I was literally one player off from the 100K. Russell Westbrook versus Steph Curry. If I had Curry, I would have took it down by over 10 fantasy points. I'll show you that screenshot in a little bit. But if you guys want to see stuff like that, community posts, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I try to get a couple a week. I don't want to spam you guys, but a couple a week. Usually with links to, like, sometimes I'm on the Osmo channel, links to that type of stuff, right? What's up, Rich Homie Quinn? What's up, Taylor? Josh says Taj Gibson won somebody 100K last night. So it went well for Taj Gibson, right? Nerlens Noel got injured twice. And then, yeah, more minutes opened up for Taj Gibson. And I guess he did fine. I'm assuming you mean on DraftKings. I don't recall seeing him up on top on Fanduel. But, yeah, if you played him massive. I mean, some of you guys were on him yesterday in chat. I didn't pull the trigger on him, but some of you guys were there. So, hey, man, that's all you. Was a 1v1 off 100K last night in NFL. Hurts, let's grind some more. Man, that's how it be. Them showdowns, the swings and showdowns are so bad that it's almost not worth sweating showdown until, like, the final drive. It's tough. I've had a positive ROI for 5 days straight. MMEing on DK. I'm getting close. Same, Quinn. I'm with you. I feel it. We, as a community, have been really on fire. This is one of my most profitable starts to an NBA season, which is great because NFL hasn't been as friendly to me. This weekend was fine for NFL, but I have a much, I don't know, I feel like I have when it comes to baseball and basketball and mass multi-entry for me, like, those where I grind the ROI. In NFL, I was way more profitable running less than 5 lineups, but, such is life. JC's, I think I'd rather go away from Drummond. He's going to be so high owned. I'd rather get Portis and Capella. Yeah, I haven't looked at the ownerships. I mean, first of all, it's a 3-game slate. So we're not gonna put too much makeup on and get cute for no reason. If you just generally disagree with the new price point on Drummond and his ability to get there, definitely, fall back if you must. Maybe, I mean, more than likely, he's a little less appealing to the general public at the new price point. However, still has 50 plus fantasy point potential, and on a 3-game slate, 40 plus, that dog's gonna hunt. So I wouldn't be too anti Drummond, or I'm not gonna be too anti Drummond. But on these 3-game slates, I think you got to make one strong stand and just go with it. And if your strong stand is Drummond's gonna be over-owned back to back, blah blah blah, hey, I respect it. The thought process is there, but we'll talk through it and we'll see if I can't carve one up. By the way, fam, appreciate that sub. I guess we got you sub during the intro. I appreciate that. That's love. If you guys are out there lurking, hit that sub button. We're trying to get to 6K subscribers by January 1. And I think the pace that we need is like 62, 63 subs a week. So 5 streams a week. I don't know if we're going to get there. So we've been pushing out giveaways, contests, stuff like that. I don't think we're going to do a giveaway on this stream. Maybe, potentially, unless one of you guys out there sponsor it. I think I'm going to save that for the big slates because, it's probably going to be a light view stream with such a light slate. Mark K, I lost in cash last night and made an irrational swap to Doncic. So, one of the things I was doing as I was babysitting my lineups all day was just kind of looking at the ownerships that I was sitting on after the first game and then the second game. And I went from 12% Luka Doncic and then I was like, you know what? Maybe I want a little bit more of that going against Devontae Graham defensively. I was like, I think he could have a good game. So I raised him to 25%. And that 25%, when you think about it, might have got me a little less Steph Curry. I still had all right. And a little less Russell Westbrook. So it probably did end up being a net negative. It was definitely a net negative play to have more Luka because he was so underwhelming on FanDuel. But I'll share the the tilt with you in just a minute on that top lineup, right? Follow me and my 200 Hundy followers. Look out, Ed. Portis is 45% owned. Yeah, Portis is looking like a strong play. No Bobby, no Bobby, no Brooke Lopez, and it's a 3-game slate, and it's the 76ers, right? By the way, chat, I lost my train of thought. By the way, chat, I have no idea what I was about to say. I was reading something and then I lost my train of thought. What up, Obi-Wan? You got a 300-point burger last night. Let's go. 318. Let's go. Zone Talks Live. What up, Zone? Question: do you think Giannis can draw fouls on Drummond tonight, or am I thinking too much? You're probably overthinking it in the scheme of a 3-game slate. Obviously, bigs can be foul prone if they're running from blocks or whatever, or they're chasing blocks, whatever. We'll look at some history between the two, but you're probably thinking too much about the man. You're probably overthinking it just a little much. So we'll talk about that. Did you have the $400 shot left to go get the Curry? Just left money on the table. I think wasn't Curry cheaper than Westbrook last night? Westbrook was. Let me see. In Westbrook was 94, Curry was 98. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did, but we'll see. Temple started. I also got into a little bit more Josh Hart once we knew for sure that Brandon Ingram and Herbert Jones was out, right? So it turned out to be a good night. It was a really good night, but it could have been a whole lot better. Chat, did you guys catch the drama of the day? Jokic, Markieff Morris. There's a lot of fanboys for both sides going off on Twitter, and I'm just in the middle laughing at everything. But yeah, that was some entertainment. Maybe if I don't know, maybe if the Jackson doesn't happen, Jokic does a little bit better. But it looked like Jokic accidentally hit Bam on the south side of the court. Then it created a fast break, and Markieff wanted to stop the momentum. Hard foul, unnecessary foul. And then Jokic hits him with that shoulder tackle. And just everyone is an idiot and overreacting. And now we got the Jokic brothers up against the Morris brothers. And hey, at least it's giving us something to laugh about, to watch. But it's insane to see the fanboys of the far Morris side, the fanboys of the far Jokic side clash. And it's just like none of you guys. Like none of you guys. Anyway, what's up, Darren? Steph saved me. Had a bunch of Shake Milton. Yes. You guys were here on the live stream when I was doing the Shake Milton, Tyrese Maxey, Seth Curry. The court not to have all three, just 2 or 3. And that worked out well for me because it gravitated my Maxey to the top, and it saved me from too much overlap of Milton. Obviously, I still had some Milton, but yeah, what are you gonna do? Wanted to see them throw hands. Jokic is strong, but yeah, it's crazy. Grown men getting into a little days of our lives drama, and then Jimmy Butler trying to meet him in the back. There's a picture of like security holding back a wall of Heat players. Man, it's all funny to me. Late swap helped me too. Got a ton of Josh Hart. Then I got a little Temple when he was announced as a starter. Yeah, like I said, my main regret last night is probably just. Maybe I took too strong of a stand on Frank Kaminsky. I think it was at 90%. He was at 40-50% by the field. It just seemed like the failure rate of him at that price range, or that price, right, was too low to miss out on. And I still wanted a little bit of leverage. I saw him win. He was in the 100K winner, so it's not like it literally didn't hurt, like cripple you. But I definitely think I could have made some more impactful lineups if I had a little bit more oomph in my power forward spot. Also, LaMarcus Aldridge, of course he would go off when I was a little bit more keen on Blake Griffin's price point yesterday, right? I think they just need to do a 5v5 brawl, Nuggets versus Heat. I'd watch it. What up, Kobe King? Missed a lot, brother. How do you feel about Giannis? You didn't miss nothing. If you guys are just tuning in, we did not do the 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central stream. We started it at 4 p.m. Eastern. So I literally haven't talked about a single game yet. So you're fine. If you're late, you're actually, well, you're still late, but you're more closer to being on time than super, super late. Too big slap fighting. Yeah, I don't know. It's all funny to me. It's all funny to me. Chat, you guys know that this stream and every other video is brought to you by RunDFS.com. RunDFS.com, that's the place where we don't just run DFS. Fudge. We ruined the drop. Let's do this over. Hold on. Chat, you guys know that this stream and every other stream brought to you by RunDFS.com. That's the place where we don't just play DFS. We run DFS. If you guys are looking to grow and evolve as a DFS player, well, come check out RunDFS.com. That'll unlock access to the daily spreadsheets for NBA, for NFL, unlock access to the 24/7 premium Discord, the daily pre-lock voice chats, a lot of times the post-lock voice chats, the late swap debacles, the thought processes on that. And then of course we got the prop hunters, man. You ever seen the Duck Hunt video game? Well, there's prop hunt going on every night. Shout out to Chronic, shout out to Logan and the Creasy, man. Those guys are sweeping everything, trying to find something to put together, make some profitable prize picks cards and sports prop picks. If you guys want to jump into the premium side of things, check out a premium pass at RunDFS.com. We have added more utility to every pass, right? Not only do we discount some of the prices over the last 5 years for this season, but we've also added a little extra bang for your buck. Every membership comes with a little bit of a credit towards your Fantasy Cruncher subscription. So nice little partnership there. You guys can copy and paste my projections, throw them in Fantasy Cruncher, and hopefully make some money, man. So come be part of the RunDFS.com crew and community. Let's talk about news before we talk about basketball. Someone says, I knew Jokic was going to eat last night. Had a feeling still lost overall. Mix of guys and lineups hit all the big. Yeah, Jokic was fine. Like I said, he just shows us he's matchup proof, right? I think if you the fact that Steph Curry did what Steph Curry did, the optimal and the winning lineup with the ownerships that were out there was just way more likely to get to Steph Curry than it was to Jokic, because of Andre Drummond wiping out 30% of the field that maybe faded him, even less than in some contests. Rich Homie Quinn says, I went way underweight on Kaminsky. 7 out of 50 lineups, had to take a stand somewhere. Yeah, I think that's fine. Like, I fully respect, like, when people read or say stuff like that, some people get offended and it's like, why would you do that? Blah, blah, blah. No, man, stands are stands, right? Somebody comes at me, they love Giannis tonight, and then somebody's like, well, what if Giannis scores 48? Well, like, the thought process is there. So if you want to get different, you're pushing back on some chalk that's a little bit more flimsy, that's the right move. And I wouldn't talk anyone down, even if I was high on the chalk. Like, everyone has a way to play. So shout out to you for being underweight on Kaminsky. Like I said, I think Kaminsky still won the 100K, but at least on FanDuel, but it was fine. Carmelo was the backbreaker. Bro, when that game went to overtime, I thought that my Westbrook lineup was live, and it did all right, but I was hoping for like triple overtime to bail me out. F Shaky killed me. Just watched it. Morris is such a queen. Morris definitely flopped, right? Like, my man, I thought he got shot. But literally everything around it is so childish. Melo balled out last night. Melo's having a season, right? Career highs, essentially, in efficiency from downtown. And man, has he been revitalized in terms of per game scoring. They need it. They need someone to step up. My boy Westbrook's not a shooter. And Melo's definitely filling in. But that, the Hornets defense is pretty soft. So watching the Lakers struggle against these bottom of the barrel teams, the Oklahoma City Thunder, the Charlotte Hornets, teams like that, well, that's not good. So I'm as a Laker enthusiast with Westbrook at the helm, I am hoping that they shape it up, but it's not looking good, and I can't defend anything. What up, EP? Was in the same Fanduel 100K contest last night, bro. One Chef Curry move away from a hundo. Yes, sir. Is he now your favorite player? Or do you hate him? Who? Steph Curry? I mean, I love Steph Curry, bro. I mean, when Steph Curry is locked in and he's having one of those magical nights, you just feel it, where he's just pulling up from hell no range, as my boy Dion would say, and hitting shots. Like, you just know in 20 years they're gonna be remembering, like, dude, Steph, like, back in my day, Steph Curry, and people like, whatever, Grandpa. Steph Curry just pulled up from the logo, whatever, Grandpa. Like, it's magic when that man is on. It's special. Golden State's 9-1. That's without Clay Bay. Golden State's a problem. I would also say Golden State's strength of schedule is probably a little bit more favorable, but that's not their problem. I'm not overreacting to their early success, but they passed the eye test, right? Steph Curry's a monster, and you get Steph Curry some help. You get Draymond being able to be Draymond, and then you think about James Wiseman and Klay Thompson on the horizon, man. It's a scary thought. When the Warriors are good, everyone else should be scared. Hey, yo, Brandon Houston, appreciate that subscription, buddy. Welcome to the channel, man. Join chat. Make yourself comfortable. Facts, gun in the goat, man. I appreciate that. Kaminsky was still in tournament winning lineups from DK. He was around 50% out. Yeah, like he didn't crush you, but I definitely feel like I could have had some more upside lineups last night. What was I doing? Oh, news, right? You guys got anything else? All I got was Seth Curry questionable, and that's it. It's a 3-game slate. Seth Curry's questionable. And if he's not able to play, then it's massive amounts of minutes for Tyrese Maxey, Shake Milton, Danny Green. I think I read a blurb that Doc said he would try to get a little deeper in his rotation. I'm just like, what do you mean? You have 8 players. What? So Seth's unable to go. Maybe even get that emergency active situation, right? So I don't know. Let's be prepared for that and be looking out. So if some news drops about this slate, chat, spam the chat. Let's jump into it, though. Let's open up that rundfs.com NBA VIP spreadsheet and talk about some of the matchups that we're dealing with and some of the game theory, right? Brandon Houston says, I only got 4,100 left on DK. I need a player. Any luck there on someone, or should I change my lineup a bit? Well, buddy, I don't quite know the context of your lineup. I would imagine on a 3-game slate, somebody that I would recommend might be already in your lineup, but at 4,100, I can read off a couple of names that are projecting for decent value in my projection sheet. Anthony Simons is a name. I got him at 22 fantasy points. 41. I'm missing 41 by quite a bit. Down here we've got Hassan Whiteside. If you think that game blows out, and it might. So I guess Anthony Simons, Hassan Whiteside, if you're really, really scrapping. But without context of knowing what your lineup is, I don't think that's a fair question. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. What up, ECW? Only time, yo. Shout out to John in chat. I've never in my. Let me see. Can I pull this up in the Discord? Guys, have you guys ever seen this? My boy John, Ella's dad, in the Discord, longtime subscriber, shout out to him. He posted a parlay he was running yesterday. My man, I didn't know you could do this, but the parlay included over 4.5 Russell Westbrook turnovers. The disrespect, and of course he hits. Why wouldn't he? But just an incredible line that he threw into a parlay. $5 into 126.89. Shout out to John. Good parlay, right? But man, the disrespect on Brody with the turnover prop. That's hilarious. DeAndre Hunter's questionable. Okay, appreciate that. Hunter and Bogdan still questionable. Wish I would have had more Anderson instead of Frank the Tank. We did do we were on some Kyle Anderson midway through the night once I can't even think of his name. There was a backup that got ruled out. I was like, all right, that might be 13 minutes. Go somewhere. So Kyle Anderson, I believe, was in my top lineup. Ended up being a really solid play. WS, do you ever have free content every day? Every day? What? What do you mean? What up, Justin Jennings? I have Simon. Oh, you do have Simon. See what I'm saying, Brandon? Um, I figure I would have guessed somebody that you already had. It's a 3-game slate, man. It's hard to be overly creative, but let's talk about it. Anyway, game number 1 tonight, the Milwaukee Bucks at the Philadelphia 76ers. Project starting 5 for the Bucks. Drew Holiday, George Hill, Grayson Allen, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Bobby Portis taking on Tyrese Maxey, Seth Curry, Danny Green, Furkan Korkmaz, and Andre, the Giant, Drummond, the cover boy. We got 216.5 total. The visiting world champion Milwaukee Bucks against a Sixers team without Ben Simmons, without Tobias Harris, without Joel Embiid, with Seth Curry questionable, are just 6-point favorites. Man, that feels weird, guys. That feels weird. Vegas knows. I've seen this before, and I'm usually wrong. But what's that all about? That seems different. Anyway, Giannis Antetokounmpo, 11.3K on Fanduel, 11.4K on DK. Seems like every slate Giannis is on, you can pretty much expect 40 to 50% ownership. And now it's just a 3-game slate. You might expect that to be even higher. Certainly has the highest raw point projection, I would imagine, of the night. We refer to the projections. I swept these about, 40 minutes ago. And yeah, I don't think it's even close. So Giannis is projected for me at 61 DKP, 66 FTP, same on Yahoo. So would probably expect a lot of people to lean on him because raw points are that much more important on a short slate, and I got no pushback. And then Bobby Portis, 5,800 on FanDuel, 5,400 on DraftKings. He was slowly being worked back into conditioning shape, and in that last game, it was encouraging to see 31 minutes of action, and we've all known that Bobby Portis can be a point per minute guy. I would expect him to probably pick up, I don't know. I haven't looked at ownership projections, but I got to imagine he's got to be, is he not the highest owned player on the slate? I mean, he just seems a little too soft price as the Bucks continue without Brook Lopez. The front court pretty shallow. Yeah, I think Bobby Portis is a pretty great play at this price point. I would imagine he's grabbing all of the ownership as well. Grayson Allen has had a couple games in a row with really hot first quarters, and then he doesn't have to do much the rest of the game. He's a 5-4, 5-1. Philadelphia defensively, you expect him to take a step backwards without some of their starters, and on a back-to-back, and with the short rotation, especially if Seth Curry's down. I don't think there's going to be a lot of defensive resistance, especially today. So I think Milwaukee are all playable and justifiable at their price points. I'd make a loose case on George Hill. He's probably my least favorite projected starter. And then looking at the bench, I think Pat Connaughton at 4,200. There's definitely a world where he gets to 20 plus. And then if the game did get a little bit lopsided, we seesawed one way, maybe a guy like Jordan Ward picked up some extra minutes. Now on the Sixer side, Tyrese Maxey. Holy minutes, Batman. My man is getting all of the minutes. He's playing minutes, and when he's done playing those minutes, hey, Maxey, get back out there. 39 minutes, 44 minutes, 45 minutes. I mean, that opportunity is just so great, right? Minutes equal money. DFS 101 for NBA. It's just hard to see me not being bullish. It's hard to see the field not being bullish on Maxey. So I'm in on Maxey quite a bit. Seth Curry, I think we'd apply the same rule as yesterday, right? We don't want. There's a lot of scoring dependent guards in this lineup, even though they're all getting deep minutes. I probably don't want to have too much overlap, so maybe 2 or 3, maybe 3 or 4, depending on your thoughts. But Korkmaz under 5K on DraftKings, I'm fine with that. Danny Green yesterday was super efficient with defensive input, made him a little bit more lucrative on FanDuel. But 3 blocks, 2 steals, 5 stocks. That's 15. No, that's 25. No, that's 15 fantasy points on FanDuel, and then just pepper in a few extra a few extra peripherals, and he can be a solid play. Again, Danny Green is somebody we're going to play with more of a defensive mindset, so he becomes more valuable to me on FanDuel. That's the Danny Green train, so I guess now we gotta play him. And then Andre Drummond, the big discussion, 7,200 on FanDuel, 7,700 on DraftKings. I said yesterday I would pay $9K for Andre Drummond in this scenario. I mean it. So I know 72, 77 doesn't sound as much of a free square as the mid 5Ks that we got yesterday, but I've got no reason not to be there again. A rebounding machine. The Bucks rebound rate not as strong as it has been the last couple of years. Obviously they got some personnel differences for the bulk of this season so far, so I'm fine with continuing to pick on them with a guy like Drummond, who is just historically a point per minute guy. My projections love him for over 50 fantasy points. So yeah, under 8K, I'm in it. I'm not going to overthink the price change. And then if we got Seth Curry questionable or not starting, emergency active, Shake Milton, Tyrese Maxey, Furkan Korkmaz, these would all probably be guys that I want a big share of. I like 3-point shooters against the Bucks historically, and that wouldn't change here today. Furkan Korkmaz has been really efficient as a starter, perhaps overly efficient, but the minutes are there for him, and the shots have been there. 16 shots. Most of them will be from downtown. So if you, like me, like to target 3-point shooters against the Bucks, Korkmaz definitely fits the bill. So the spread is so suspect to me that I don't want a conspiracy cap here, but that spread is so light to me. I figured it would be bigger, but what are you going to do? Let's get caught up on chat. What's up, Dr. Joseph LG Brandon? This is free content. Yeah, it's free content. Hopefully, like, you don't, like, if you're new to the channel and you're like, oh, most of the free content is fluffy, blah blah blah, just to get you to the premium side. Hopefully you don't feel that if you actually spend some time here. I think most of y'all don't, right? We get hundreds of cats every day. I don't hold back anything on these streams, so yeah, it may change between now and lock based on news and stuff like that and ownership, but I don't hold back anything on the live stream. So the free content is what I'm doing as of now. Drummond is still projected to be the highest owned, and that's fair. Like I said, I would pay $9K for him. It seemed to me like Bobby Portis would be a better play points per dollar. So like in my lineups, I would probably seem like I would probably expect to have more Portis than Drummond. But Drummond's very close to that lock button. It's a 3-game slate, and my projections actually would probably think I'm a fool if I faded him, right? We just looked at top value plays. I have Drummond at 6.99 value. Korkmaz at 7.28. So, I mean, these are just insane numbers. You get to 6 to 7x on a price point like 7,700. I mean, like, yeah, I'm gonna be bullish on that. So, if the field wants to wrestle with fading Drummond, I'm gonna let the field do it, and let them try to make the mistakes or be cute. I think at 7,700, like on a normal slate, you think about 7 games, 8 games, something like that. There's a world where if Drummond only got 40, he's not an elite must-have lock optimal play. But, man, even if you just see 40 fantasy points here on a 3-game slate, I don't see how that dog doesn't hunt. You know what I'm saying? Like the Hawks, night 2 of a back-to-back. I would say at Utah is probably the thing you don't want on night 2 of a back-to-back. That's a tough spot. So to pivot to like a Capella Collins or something like that against a tough defensive team and one of the best home teams in basketball I just don't. For me, the math doesn't line up. And then looking at the Blazers, Clippers, like Serge Ibaka's back in the mix for the Clippers front court. It's only like 8-9 minutes maybe, and then Nurkic is fine, but does he feel as strong as Drummond? No, so I'm gonna let the field make that mistake, I guess, and I'm just gonna ride with it. Drummond might possibly be for the second night in a row the lock alert. Major lock alert. Drummond's lack of scoring gives the guards a slight bump, in my opinion. Yeah, get the rebound and pass it out, man. My man, 25 rebounds. That's so dumb. Like, you got to sweat that double-double into the fourth quarter, right? If people box score Chase last night, I'll take the ownership discount on Milton. Yeah, the hand touching the hot stove effect. Milton still was getting shots up. He just wasn't hitting them. Took 13 shot attempts. So if he hits closer to 7, 8, maybe a couple peripherals, I'm fine with that. I think Maxey seems like the guy for me, minutes wise. But like I think we're splitting hairs, right? Trying to guess which largely scoring dependent guard is the right play. It's just going to be a matter of who's hot when they're out there, how they scheme it, and who's guarding who, right? So maybe Drew Holiday shuts down Maxey, and maybe Seth Curry's out, and maybe Shake Milton picks up the slack. You know what I'm saying? Like, I definitely wouldn't give up on Milton, and that's the age old line we say in DFS, man. Gotta have that goldfish memory. Don't forget the upside on Milton, but yes, it comes with volatility. If people do, what's good, Brody? What's up, Mo Green? How you doing, bro? Portis projected to be the second highest on. Okay, so it's up there. I wouldn't take Drummond tonight. Seems like a back-to-back trap. I mean, I don't know. Andre Drummond. I just think the minutes are too strong. Like I don't really. PKP by game log on night 2 of a back-to-back. Let's go last, I don't know, 50 games per minute. I don't really see any pushback from me. Like I think the only if you didn't want to play Drummond tonight, I think you're just saying, all right, I'm gonna take the massive Kojone stand on hoping he busts at 80%. And a 3-game slate, you're looking for incredible leverage opportunity. Yes, in theory, that's one of them, but in terms of failure, man, for me, it's just foul trouble or injury, right? I don't really see the matchup holding him back. I think he's fine, especially per minute. So I got no pushback on Drummond, but you guys are fine for thinking backwards, right? Bucks have no one to keep Drummond off the boards. At gun on would you drum locks in. Let's go, Kobe. Slow PC. No. Any love for Whiteside? A little bit. I mentioned him as somebody that could project as a value play. Let's jump into that game and talk some ranges, the outcomes. The Atlanta Hawks at the Utah Jazz. Project starting 5 for the Hawks. Trae Young, Bogdanovich, DeAndre Hunter, John Collins, Clint Capella taking on Mike Conley, Donovan Mitchell, Bojan Bogdanovich, and Royce O'Neal, and Rudy Gobert from the Department of Redundancy Department. And 2-2-2, and another 1-2 is our total. 8.5 point spread in favor of the home team, Utah Jazz. So we'll paint that picture for you. Atlanta Hawks are on night 2 of a back-to-back. And let's go check out defensive ratings after X amount, 10 games now. Golden State Warriors have the best defense in all of basketball. That's who the Hawks had to go 12 rounds with yesterday. And Steph Curry said, hold my beer. And then the Utah Jazz, they're still bottom 10. I think Utah is going to be better at home, a little bit more average on the road. And then we've also seen in the last couple games where they've staggered Mike Conley for rest. And I think that defense is definitely much sharper with Mike Conley on the court versus with Mike Conley off the court. And we've got a couple years of sample size to justify that. So it is, at best, an uphill climb for the Atlanta Hawks here. Especially if you think about elevation, it works. It's a tough spot. So I don't mind game scripting this game to go a little sideways. And maybe 150 lineups thinking about, all right, what if they did get smacked and this game did blow out? Could I get some value? Well, I think I could from the Utah Jazz. We mentioned Hassan Whiteside's just 4,100. Could I get that 14 minutes that already projects over a point per minute into an 18-minute? Like the inches matter in a small slate like this. So I might be thinking about that. On the Hawks side, you got to keep an eye on the news. DeAndre Hunter is questionable. He is dealing with a right wrist strain. Bogdanovich is dealing with an ankle. If those two can't go, it would be next man up for, I guess, Kevin Huerter, Cam Reddish Jr., guys like that. And then maybe some more responsibility on guys like Trae Young. Trae Young was through the first half. Trae Young was going blow for blow fantasy-wise with Steph Curry, and then Curry just left him in the dust. So plenty of ways to think about this. I'm probably thinking about it the more chalky way, right? I think a lot of people would anticipate this to go sideways. I think I saw this morning in the Discord someone say the Hawks had projected lowest ownership on the slate. So another leverage opportunity if you think they can show up, maybe stun the Jazz here. They are a good team on paper, but are they built to would they be built if some of these injuries went the wrong way? This is a 9 p.m. Lock time, so this slate's pretty staggered. That's going to be, what, an hour and a half after the first game tips off, so we potentially wouldn't have the Hunter news, the Bogdanovich news. Not that like I'm running to play Hunter or Bogdanovich, but it would create some fluctuation on usage and expectation. So let's go pull up NBA Wowie. Let's bring it back to the beginning of last year. Exclamation point AMF in chat if you guys want the link to come check this out. And run some queries of your own. So we're going to pull up the Hawks. We're going to go to the beginning of last year. We're going to take off, just out of curiosity, Bogdanovich. DeAndre Hunter is really not that impactful for me, in my opinion. So I'm going to put Trae Young on, take off Bogdanovich, and just kind of see what kind of numbers come back that we might expect to change the needle, move the needle a little bit. Trae Young in this split, 1.37 DKP per minute, 1.3 Fanduel points per minute. So, yeah, it could be something that is inversely a positive effect for Trae Young that people don't get to. And if the bulk of the money or the bulk of the lineup start with the Giannis and Paul George, or Giannis or Paul George, Trae Young does kind of middle in as a guy that could get you 50 plus fantasy points. So, yeah, if the Hawks are going to be low owned, you don't have to do much to get some exposure to him, just to say you did it. Lou Williams got some ties here? Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else. On the Jazz side, can we have a Royce O'Neal discussion? Because I'm getting doggone sick of looking up and Royce O'Neal is a fantasy play, right? 4,400 for him. We need some value today. 31, 36 DKP his last two games. We'd even take that 25 that he put up against these Atlanta Hawks 3 games ago. The minutes have been pretty strong for him. So Royce O'Neal would probably be a stocking stuffer value play for me on DraftKings. Hey, yo, Shane, that's my buddy Shane. Yo, appreciate that sub. Would probably be a stocking stuffer value play for me on DK. So maybe keep him in the mix there. And then Rudy Gobert, 9K on FanDuel, 8,900 on DK. No one's probably going to get to him if Drummond's going to carry that ownership, if Bobby Portis is going to carry that ownership. Could you get that 50 fantasy point game out of Rudy Gobert, the 20 rebounds, the couple blocks, and maybe 10 to 15 real points? It's possible. He only got you 40 against Atlanta last time. Like I said, I think he gets lost in the sauce, but if you're thinking outside the box here, you're not that concerned with Rudy Gobert as a strong fantasy floor. But in context of the slate, in context of lineup construction, there would definitely be less roads leading to him if Drummond, if Bobby Portis are filling up elsewhere, right? Let's get caught up on chat before we move on to the next one. Actually, I want your thoughts on this game because it looks like this could be the contrarian spot of the slate, right? A lot of eyes on Clippers, a lot of eyes on the Sixers value and the upside of the Bucks. What are you guys doing with this Utah game? Because I definitely think there's merit in being contrarian with this game without being dumb, right? So what do you guys got? Any love for, okay, so we did talk about Whiteside. Philly's been playing a lot lately tonight. Yo, let's go home. Let's go home. I love that.
For my boy Gun, but really got Danny.
Why, yo, are we simping on my girlfriend on my stream? Hold up. Wait. No, appreciate that, Fish. $4.99 from Fish to Danny. Dang. Yeah. Philly's been playing a lot lately today, last night, tonight. I agree with the matchup, though. Yeah, it might be a Conley night. I'm with that. I think all the Jazz individually make a lot of sense, right? What up, John Galicia? Good luck tonight. Let's get this money. Yes, sir. Valdo, yo, what up, Gun? Let's get it. What's up, Valdo? You doing all right? What up, Marvski? I don't like that spread on Philly Bucks. Giannis might sit. So, again, I don't want to be the vehicle for conspiracy theories, but the Gun Dagger Sportsbook maybe would have had a stiffer line on the Bucks, considering the circumstances, right? Lou Will breaking the slate. Yes, sir. The Hawks have zero motivation or incentive to play hard tonight. I mean, it's early in the season. You want to get some dubs, right? This isn't, I mean, every team in the league has incentive and motivation to win basketball games, but it's an uphill battle. Yeah, everyone's going to have the same lineup. It's going to come down to a scrub. Probably. But it's still, I mean, yeah, probably. But maybe. I mean, we say that, but like, define scrub, right? Like, there's still plenty of upside players I think get lost in the shuffle. That if the let's just say let's go to DraftKings, right? If we say the knee jerk approach is, oh, I gotta get Giannis, he's gonna lead the slate in fantasy points. I gotta go get Andre Drummond, and then I gotta go get Bobby Portis, right? These are like the three guys that I think everyone wants to play, right? And you could probably get away with, Giannis in the small forward spot or Portis in the forward spot. But generally speaking, just if you were on these three guys, $5,100, not a lot to get away with. So if you think contrarian with a purpose, like not saying these guys are bad plays, but just thinking about ownership, thinking about the really definition of leverage, there's going to be non-scrub players that don't pick up the same amount of ownership. Paul George is probably going to be lesser owned. Trae Young, you can make a case for Damian Lillard, Donovan Mitchell. Like, these aren't scrubs. Rudy Gobert could drop 50-plus fantasy points. There's still options there. So if you just build your lineup a little bit backwards, even just like leaving out one of these guys, and Giannis being the most expensive, he would have the highest responsibility and the need to lead the slate in fantasy scoring. You can be creative. So I wouldn't be that discouraged on getting the right, third string 12-minute projected guy right, because I do think we see it every day, man. Thinking contrarian is very lucrative. So I definitely think the slate's given us plenty of 8 to 9K upside guys that the knee-jerk reaction isn't to go straight to them, but I don't think they would be like the scrubs. You know what I'm saying? They're not necessarily scrubs that you got to get right. Bucks need wins. They're 4-6. Yeah, the Bucks got to come out and win. Giannis going for over 70 tonight. You heard it here first. Okay, John. You contrarian, mind you. Which Bucks players do you like besides Giannis? So easily Bobby Portis 1. And then behind him, I probably it's hard to chop people out on a 3-game slate because full disclosure, I'm probably gonna have exposure to every team, every game. I'm gonna shuffle the deck of cards like a baseball script. But if I had to prioritize my Bucks plays, it's gonna be Giannis, Bobby Portis. The rest of the guys are a little bit more a spin the wheel, make a deal range of outcome. But Drew Holiday is probably a little too cheap. We've seen him easily drop 40+ in the past without Chris Middleton. The minutes should be there for him as he starts building his conditioning back up after his little stretch of absence. Grayson Allen is waking up. He's averaging over 14 real points per game. Like I said, a couple strong first quarters, and then the ease of stress to have to perform the rest of the game has been kind of low. And then Pat Connaughton off the bench, right? I expect the Sixers to really just not be super strong defensively while Thibault, while Embiid, those type of guys are out, and of course Ben Simmons. But you guys know the vibes on that. It's a Paul Reed night. Bucks gonna run Drummond off the court. I think we've heard that before when it comes to Drummond, and it just doesn't happen. Like, you guys, you really have to appreciate how short-handed the Bucks are. I mean, the 76ers are. Like, they can't just not give Drummond 30 minutes here. Like I said, if you're fading Drummond, you're really hoping for fouls or injuries or something, because how do you get the minute projection under 30? DKP by game log versus Bucks. Let's go last 10 games on Drummond here. Let's look in context of points per minute. We've got 30 minutes, 48, 30 minutes, 38, 41, 63. You know what I'm saying? Like, the upside's there, the usage will be there. He's an animal. So I don't really see him getting pushed off the court, especially not like as long as Bobby Portis is on the court, right? Like, I think we're trying to create reasons to be anti-Drummond here, and I don't know. I'm not on the anti-Drummond side of things, right? I think you might be on some gun, a little Trae, PG, Portis, Drum, Core 4. Yeah, right? So that's what I'm saying. Like, you can see Donovan Mitchell drop 50. You can see Gobert drop 50. You can see Trae Young drop 50. Those guys aren't crazy plays. They're just not the instinctive clicks because of the way this slate's set up. So you don't have to make lineups that look bad. They're just contrarian, and that's DFS, right? You know what else is DFS, chat? PrizePicks.com. That's DFS. You guys ever try PrizePicks? If you haven't, you probably should. And when you try PrizePicks. You should probably use promo code GUNDACKER when you sign up, because when you do that, they show me some love once a month, and then you also get a little extra something in return if you sign up using code GUNDACKER, ! PrizePicks in the chat. They will double your first deposit up to $100, man. So if you wanted to max that out, $100, create $200 of spendable site credit, make some cards, make some picks, put together some of your favorite prop bets. Maybe you're not comfortable with the small slate, the big slates. You want some action because you want to enjoy the games tonight. Try PrizePicks. You can get into betting individual props for players, and my personal favorite, you can bet on fantasy scores for players, and their fantasy scores mirrors that of the official NBA scoring, which is the same that Fanduel uses, the same that Yahoo uses. So if you're out there grinding the Yahoo streets, the Fanduel streets, the transition to PrizePicks really will not be that hard or that difficult. So try it out, man. PrizePicks.com. You can download the app on your Android, your iPhone, wherever you consume your or wherever you prepare your action. They have a desktop client as well, and it looks a little something like this. Boom. Andre Drummond, by the way, they have him for 14.5 points. I probably would be more looking at the rebounds or the fantasy points. They have him at 13.5 rebounds fantasy points for Andre Drummond. They got him at 40.5. Now, my projections have the way over on that, but I get it. We don't need to come out here and shop the 40 fantasy points line. Is there any diamonds in the rough here? Maxey's at 31. Well, you might play 40 minutes. Bobby Porter's at 30 fantasy points. That's on the edge here. Again, FanDuel scoring. So if you guys are subscribed to the RunDFS.com premium side of things, so we have a tab in the spreadsheet that would be a good companion piece for you going after some of these PrizePicks numbers. It is the player props tab down here. You click on that. It's currently sorted by most fantasy points to least, but you see I have the algorithm spitting out projected real points, projected rebounds, projected assists, PRA for you sports book bettors, 3 points made, and free throws made. I have not made the turnovers yet, but apparently that's a thing. But for instance, Andre Drummond, I got him close to 60 fantasy points. So there's still like a 20 fantasy points of difference, of separation between my aggressively based algorithm and theirs. But you could also just like get a little bit safer about things. Tyrese Maxey, I got him at 36. They had him at like 30, right? They had him at 31. So there's guys that are going to be a little bit more soft that you guys can land on. If you thought the Hawks got blowout, maybe you think Trae Young's under 30, right? Who else is down here? Might get a little beef on. Paul George is at 47.5 against Portland. That's an intriguing one because it kind of feels like he's been pretty solid in very, very close games, right? Last game against Portland, he dropped 60 DKP. The game prior, 39. So it looks like they gave you right smack dab in the middle, but I like Paul George all the same. So that's how I would shop lines on PrizePicks. I just simply open up my player props tab and I compare the two. And if I find some big differences between my numbers and their numbers, I'll try and trust my numbers. I'll go for it. Like I said, I go after the fantasy points, but these cats in the chat, man, they're grinding single stat DFS columns. They're going after the rebounds, the assists, all that good stuff. It's not just basketball, boys. You can bet football, and tonight is the night where college basketball becomes one. I don't know. That was stupid. They have MMA. They have soccer. They have cricket, for crying out loud. Cricket. Go check it out. If you don't, I still love you. Main event tonight, Blazers at the Clippers. Projects 35 for the Blazers. Damian Lillard, CJ McCollum, Norman Powell, Robert Covington, and Yusef Nurkic up against Reggie Jackson, Eric Bledsoe, Paul George, Nick Batum, and Ivica Zubac. We got a 221 total, a 3-point spread in favor of the Clippers. We have seen this game now twice, right? This is going to be game number 3. Okay, chat, can we talk about Luke Kennard and his propensity to go bananas against the freaking Blazers, man. On the 29th, dropped 28, and on the 25th, dropped 37. Are we getting that type of production out of Luke Kennard? We've seen 24 plus, a decent chunk, and if that's gonna hold up here, you guys might put Kennard in your back pocket as a play. Again, I think in that first game, Marcus Morris was out. He's out again tonight. Serge Ibaka did make his season debut lately. I got him stretched into 12 minutes. I think it's going to be a slow roll for him in terms of minutes played. We heard them suggest that they want him to be a defensive guy on the second unit for now, and they started things off with 8 minutes here. So if we're going to slowly progress his way upward, then he's probably not somebody I'm getting to, and I'm not going to overreact to his minute projection eating into others. Ivica Zubac has been a guy that has continuously garnered ownership the last couple of slates. Maybe this is a case of, a chalk guy not being chalk for no other reason than, people are on Drummond, people are on Portis. Maybe Ivica Zubac can give you another 30 plus fantasy point game. I'm not that enamored by it, but he is definitely someone that can fill the stat sheet here. Double digit rebounds, back-to-back games, a couple stocks to boot. Getting to the free throw line, right? 6 and 8 and hitting a 100% clip. I don't know that I expect that to continue here against Nurkic, but it's still, a guy that maybe doesn't pick up the ownership that he has been, but really not for a real reason. What are you guys doing with this game? Damian Lillard, CJ McCollum. Lillard and McCollum are still really dangerously cheap on Fanduel for guys that can easily net you 40 plus fantasy points. And we started to see Damian Lillard perhaps wake up a little bit. The shot volume has been there for him, just the success rate has not. So if you believe in progression or regression to the mean, progression to the mean, positive regression, whichever way you want to dress it up, Damian Lillard has every right to be 9K, 9.5K if he's closer to his career shooting averages. And in that last game against the Lakers, he probably ends up being a much, much stronger play if the game was more competitive. It ended up being a blowout. 15 point was the final win. And instead of playing 38, 36 minutes, he played 31 minutes. So 19 shot attempts there. We've seen several 20 plus shot attempts. If he's going to shoot closer to 45, 50%, Damian Lillard's probably too cheap on Fanduel going against the defensive stylings of Reggie Jackson. So I'm in on those guys again on Fanduel. I will wrestle with, I don't know. I'm always like thinking about, do I want to restrict the overlap between CJ McCollum and Damian Lillard? I think I'm going to let it ride right now since it's just a 3-game slate. But something to think about. And then Yusuf Nurkic is a guy I like if the minutes are there. The minutes are always pretty flimsy, but the per minute production is massive. So he'll make the back end of my pool, but I can't really see myself allowing more than 10% as a ceiling, more so on Fanduel. Anthony Simons, somebody that I think you guys should keep in the mix. It sounds like a couple of you guys already included him in your studs and scrubs lineups. He's 3,800 on DK. He's dual guard eligible. 20 plus minutes is the expectation for him. Double digit shot attempts and 20 plus fantasy points. A real range of outcome here. So just as a stash him in your back pocket play, fill or need, give me 20 plus fantasy points to glue together the rest of my lineup. I think people laying on him quite a bit. And on the Clipper side, Paul George, the guy, his success rate, his floor ceiling chart is probably a little bit more EKG than you want it to be, right? You like a little bit more stability, but on a 3-game slate, man, we're just playing the percentages here. So if you guys see a decent ownership on Paul George at like 30% or less at this price point, that might even be an aggressive number considering Giannis Antetokounmpo is out there. Maybe use that as your stand here. I like Reggie Jackson's price, 6-1 on FanDuel, 6,300. I think he's a guy that also has an unstable floor, but his ceiling has been there, and his production lately and his minutes lately have been okay. And if you get him in a competitive game, could I get 36 plus minutes? That's what I've seen in 4 straight games. Could I get 30 plus fantasy points? He's done that in 3 straight, shown a little bit of a ceiling. 2 games against Portland this season. There is a 31 in there. So yeah, I think I'm going to get to Reggie Jackson, a decent clip tonight, right? Nick Batum, man. Nick Batum historically, at least the last 2 seasons, not somebody I play with confidence, but I've kind of had to grow a new appreciation to Nick Batum now. He's looking a little bit more like the Portland Trailblazers Nick Batum than the Charlotte Hornets Nick Batum. 34, 26, 34, 33. 3 out of the last 4 games I would happily take in the window of a 3-game slate, right? 5,200. You can give me 30 plus fantasy points. I'm in on that stuff in the stat sheet. The double-digit shot attempts, I'm still growing to believe that as the norm, but it's been happening. But we know he can stuff the stat sheet. So with the steals being what they are, maybe more so on FanDuel, Batum's more viable. But I think Batum's in the mix for me all the same. And yeah, Terrence Mann's another guy that projected well for me. 5,100 on both sites. I'm looking for 30 plus fantasy points. I think he can get that. I think he fills that forward role on DK as well. 36 against Charlotte last game. Charlotte, of course, is one of the worst defenses in all of basketball, so this won't be a high rebound matchup. Matter of fact, Portland rebounds at one of the better clips in basketball, so maybe we expect those rebound numbers to suppress a little bit. But I do think the ranges of outcomes for these guys to hit value at their price points is high enough that I'm going to have all these guys in the mix, in the pool, and I'm going to be wrestling with tweaking the warm and fuzzy ownerships. What do you guys do with this game? And then if you guys have any lasting questions, comments, concerns about any of the slate, any 1v1s, 2v2, something like that, drop them in chat. I guess it's a late lock, so I don't have to be off the air for another 20-ish minutes. So I got time to burn if you guys want to talk some strategy and share the fire or talk some fire, right? I want to know who you guys like. Let's get caught up on chat though. Not gambling on Dame on a 3-game slate. He's barely hit value at that price. Not happening. Will, man. 3-game slate, that's where you play Dame, bro. Remember, that last game, Dame didn't hit value because of Dame. Dame didn't hit value because of the Lakers. 31 minutes is all they needed to play him because the game was a blowout from the start. Remember, that's that debacle where they were up 20 in the first quarter. Anthony Davis said, "Oh, my tummy hurts," and the game was over before it begun. If that game goes full length, right, you get the 36 to 38 minutes out of Damian Lillard, that 43 becomes a 55 plus. So goldfish memory, and then don't be glued to the game log. The shot volume's there, the usage is there. It's just he was missing shots. That's it. That's why Dame has been a bad play. I get the pushback, I get the hesitation, especially on DraftKings, but I'm trying to knock out some of that I don't know, scar tissue that you guys have built up from the game log and kind of make you see through it. He's definitely somebody that can be just fine tonight. So I don't know. I don't want to push you on him if you don't want to be on him, but I at least want to open your eyes to look at it from a more see the progression point of view, right? Also, while we get some questions racked up, chat, where we at? We're at 100 plus viewers. Slow 3-gamer. I didn't expect a lot of viewers today. Just do me a solid. Hit that thumbs up. If you're lurking out there, you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. I would surely appreciate it. We're trying to get to 6K subscribers by January 1. It's going to be a lofty goal, but I think we can do it. Favorite cereal? I actually don't have a favorite cereal. Gun, does Run DFS have college football projections? No, I don't run college stuff. The only stuff I like, the projections that I advertise or in the spreadsheets that I do are just sports that I play, and that's NBA, NFL, and baseball. And baseball, I don't have projections because it's like how do you have? I have the bomb detector. But no, I don't have college content. I did see that Osmo. Shout out to Osmo. They're doing free college basketball projections tonight. So if you guys want to dabble that, I think that's available. I'm pretty sure that's the thing. So go look out for that. Free is nice. What do you think about Bledsoe tonight, man? I'm a Bledsoe guy. 4,300. I think 20 plus fantasy points is there for him. I wish the minute projection was a little bit stronger, but with Terrence Mann, Luke Kennard kind of lurking in the shadows, they're pulling away from his 30 plus minute projection. But I like Bledsoe as a value play. I'm not going to have an incredible amount of exposure to him, but I do like him, and I will have exposure to him. Favorite cereal though, I don't really have a favorite cereal. Usually, I'm a fat dude, right? So I just mix them up, right? Give me some shredded wheats, give me some fruity pebbles, cinnamon toast crunch. We put them all in the mix. I haven't really got cinnamon toast crunch lately though, because my girlfriend is allergic to cinnamon. Who does that? Where they do that at? Missing out on a lot of stuff in life because of no cinnamon in the house. You know what I'm saying? Bledsoe under 9.5 points looks like an absolute lock. Been in under 7 and 7 straight. Is it a trap? I mean, I got him. He averages 8.6 on the season, and 9.5 is the number. I don't know. Those aren't bets I like to sweat, but I like it. It makes a lot of sense. Like if you're pushing towards the under, I don't see why not. What's the shot volume on Bledsoe lately? Oh yeah, 5. He took 13 shot attempts against Minnesota. 8. Nah, I probably wouldn't. I think that's a little too game loggy, right? A couple free throws, 5 to 10 shot attempts. I wouldn't, but I don't think you're crazy if you took it. Agreed, maybe take a shot. You convinced me. Yep. Jackson, Maxi, or Holiday in single entry. Who's your favorite of 3? And thank you. I appreciate it. Yo, Valdo, I appreciate you. Probably Maxi. And the reason why Maxi is probably gonna win that three-way 1v1v1 triple threat match is because Maxi's minutes. He literally might play the whole game. Like it's bad. 39 minutes last night against the Knicks, 44 against Chicago, 45 against Detroit. They need him. They need his body out there. Yeah, the other 2 games there was no Danny Green, but if we don't get Curry in the mix tonight, I mean this is go get that cardio in, young blood. And we've seen Maxey fill that cardio role for the Sixers last year. So probably Maxey, and that's just based on minutes. But Reggie Jackson been getting some deep minutes too. If Dame's gonna be low on, sign me up. What's up, Tommy B? Been watching since 4:30. Meant to say what's up. Oh, okay. Chip in a cherry, yes sir. Lucky Charms. Okay. I'm down with it. Cinnamon Toast Crunch is bomb. Yes, sir. Thoughts on Larry Nance? Larry Nance is interesting. So, he's kind of like the Whiteside-ish, where I know he can be a point per minute. It's 100 above min price, 17, 18, 21 minutes this last couple games. Yeah, it feels more like a showdown play to me than a main slate play. But, man, one of these days, when he knocks on the door of 20+, that dog will help you hunt on a 3-game slate. Like, we're willing to take the floor down a little bit and the ceiling down a little bit. So I would have exposure to him. I probably wouldn't get there in 20 lineups, but 150, I'd probably get up to 5% of that maybe, just to see how it made the rest of the lineup look. But I think he's definitely in play just as a pure punt 3-game slate, thought process, right? Cinnamon rolls, oh heck no. On Fanduel, you're trying to fit in George and Giannis. Let's see how valuable that is. I like, obviously I would like lineups with both, and again, full disclosure, probably gonna have 150 lineups flying out there, so I'm gonna have both. But I guess what I'll do is I'll go to my projections. Again, I updated these like an hour and a half ago, so we'll have some differences to make. I'll go get the top 3 value plays based on salary. Looks like it's gonna be Drummond, Korkmaz, Bledsoe. So if I put those 3 in the mix, Berkey from Turkey. Let's put Korkmaz at the small forward spot. Let's get Drummond. Bledsoe. I guess Bledsoe qualifies. Like I said, I also probably want Maxey. These are guys I think could pay off their price points. And then Bobby Portis, I think he's an incredible play. So that gives us 76 per. So let's go Giannis. And let's go, you said Paul George. How viable is it if we do this? 4K per. So yeah, I mean, if you were on a specific punt at guard or forward, it's not impossible, especially if you take out a piece here and there. So I'll have lineups that achieve this. Is it a priority pre-flop? Probably not. I probably want to raise the floor a little bit, but I don't think it's impossible, and I think it's very valuable, especially if you think Paul George and Giannis Antetokounmpo can be 1 and 2 in terms of projected fantasy points. And based on my soft projections from an hour and a half ago, that's That's right. I got Giannis 1, I got Paul George 2, I got Drummond 3. So I technically get access to all 3 of my top projected scorers by going that route. And then we mentioned Anthony Simons, right? Would Anthony fit right in on this lineup, 4,400? Yes, he would. Yes, he would. And that's 39 for that small forward spot. And I don't want to, I'm not here to give out lineups. But Larry Nance, we just talked about him. Kevin Huerter, hey, if DeAndre Hunter's out, if Bogdan Bogdanovic is out, Kevin Huerter's awfully cheap. And he might get 25, 30 minutes. I mean, it's definitely very, very possible to achieve Paul George, Giannis Antetokounmpo and still get your Bobby Portis and your Andre Drummond and eat it too. So, yeah, one way to go. Why are 2 thumbs down? People are weird. I will say this though, if you don't like the stream, please hit the thumbs down because engagement with the video, it's just as good as a thumbs up. If you are closet haters and you're watching a stream and you don't like it, you hate other people's success, or you just hate that people don't bottom dwell and live with venom in their heart like you do. The best thing you could do to show your hate to a YouTube video is nothing. The thumbs down is an engagement, and it registers all the same with the algorithm. Danny Green love. Yeah, I'm fine with Danny Green. Danny Green's more of a FanDuel play for me, though. Boom, boom, boom. Drummond, Giannis lock. Yes, sir. Reggie Jackson, Drew Holiday with that. How many minutes do you think Ibaka gets tonight? So, being that he got 8 in his first game against Charlotte, I do think they're going to build him slowly. I put him at 12, and I feel like 12 is an okay projection. I don't get to a high enough minute projection to play him. If some quotes come out from coaches later that would be able to change that projection for me, then maybe I revisit that thought. But right now, I put him at 12 minutes. That's not enough minutes to really get me excited. So I probably don't play him if that's what you're trying to get to, right? Reese's Puffs is slick number 1. Man, I've had Reese's Puffs in forever. Atlanta value, we're determined if we can fit Giannis and PG. I think that's fair. Bledsoe under 9.5 points. Looked after lock, but under 7. Brandon, did I just answer that question, or is the chat been that dead? No, you said that before. Okay, Brandon. Brandon, I think that's fine. The shots have been there for him to hit that over, and he's been getting to the free throw line. So he's just been shooting poorly. So that's a tough click, right? Bob Jones, I appreciate you. Some people are just like grumpy Smurf guy. It happens. What up, Darius? What up, Juan? Any love for Royce O'Neal, man? 3 games straight of Royce O'Neal being a solid play. What has been going well for Royce O'Neal, right? I think there was a game without Mike Conley, a game without Donovan Mitchell. So I don't know if a couple absences were able to pick up some opportunity for him, but the minutes have always been there for Royce O'Neal, and even dating back to the last couple seasons, he is kind of like a Jay Crowder type, where he's going to play 35 minutes every game. More often than not, he's somewhat insignificant for the top of a tournament, but sometimes those minutes land into a few extra peripherals defensively, and he fills a role. And on a short slate like a 3-game slate that we're dealing with tonight, hey man, if he gets the 25 plus fantasy points, that dog might hunt. So I don't mind him. On DK at 4,400, I got him at 32 minutes. Spits back 24 fantasy points, 26.5 on FanDuel. It's the stocks that really weigh him high for me. 2.5 stocks a game so far. Yeah, he's in play for me, but on DK at 4,400, he doesn't need to do a whole lot, right? 20 plus, and you might be live. Pray for me, brother. I got you. Danny Green to score 15 at plus 1340. Holy. It's not impossible. How many shots did he take last night? Danny. Oh, Donnie boy. He took 9 shots, almost all of them from behind the arc. Yeah, well, how much did you put on that? Like bets like that, like I understand the minutes, the need, and potential for more shots if like Seth Curry's out. So like I don't think it's crazy to take that shot if you don't care if it's entertainment. But okay. What's up, Josh? How do you feel about Cork compared to Danny Green using the Osmo boom bust for them? Cork more optimal, but way more ownership. I mean, that's literally how I feel. Cork Moss is more likely to be the optimal play, but also way more likely to be the higher owned guy. And I think that about sums it up, man. I don't really feel any different than that. If you are just looking for ways to get different because of ownership, and you just want to push back, maybe you push back and you go somewhere else other than Danny Green. But the minutes are just way too deep right now on these guys. Korkmaz played 40 minutes last night. I know I saw a quote earlier that said Doc wanted to deep in the rotation tonight, but I just don't know how deep you can possibly get it with all the inactives that they have. So yeah, I'd be more on the Korkmaz over Danny Green button as well. But I mean, I don't know. I don't feel any differently. What do you think of Hartenstein? So Isaiah Hartenstein would take a little bit of a hit, I think, with Ibaka kind of growing. I do think a per minute Hartenstein is really, really good at 3,300. It's kind of hard to give up a center spot for Hartenstein, especially with Drummond there. But he is per minute extremely efficient for fantasy. 15, 13, 18. There's a couple of blowouts here. And like I said, the game where Serge Ibaka came back, he saw his fewest minutes of the season. And I feel like that's a trend that likely continues. So you're dealing with that risk. He would be a 100K to first big field tournament play only. And even then, I'm not that enamored by it. Maybe you dabble with him on a showdown, or if something like, I don't know, Ibaka was held out or something like that happened throughout the night. But I think Ibaka is going to eat at his minute projection. And then when Marcus Morris gets back in the mix, it can only go down even more probably, right? I have 3 Sixers tonight as of now. Yeah, Josh, I think a lot of people are going to land on Sixers in cash and short entry, and 3 might be might be solid. I think we might see a lot of 4-man Sixer stacks if we get Seth Curry to sit this one, right? Brian, what's up, Brian? On DraftKings, what's the best option if I want to play Drummond, Paul George, and Giannis, and is Dame worth playing? I think Dame is worth playing, but he's probably impossible to play if you want Drummond, Giannis, and Paul George, right? You're gonna have to cut somebody out of that. But if you want to go Paul George, you want to go Giannis, and you want to go Drummond, I definitely would probably say you got to get some Bobby Portis in your life with 1-0. Bobby with the 1-0. And 37 port, Jesus H, you're down bad. So you're going to be hoping that DeAndre Hunter's out so you can get to some of the value guards on Atlanta, like Kevin Huerter. And then yeah, it's you're down bad if you're here. So that's probably a starting point for me. I wouldn't want to get more cute, and then Kevin Huerter would be strictly contingent on the availability of DeAndre Hunter and Bogdan Bogdanović. I think Bogdan being out would be the bigger plus for Kevin Huerter. And then Cam Reddish would also open up as a potential play if that happened. You throw him in the mix, and then you get 39 for a util, and that can only mean one thing. I don't know. George Hill, Hartenstein. Yeah, I don't know. It's really bad down there. Like, it's ultra studs and scrubs, and that's probably not the way that you win 100K tonight, probably, right? Because you need everything to go right. And I think there's still a world where the 8-9K guys can get you to 50 pluses, the Goberts, the Trae Youngs, the Donovan Mitchells, guys like that. Yeah, no. How do you feel about Drew versus Maxey? Been getting stuck on this all day. Drew has the higher ceiling, but Maxey's guaranteed at the 0.39 minutes. I don't even know if Drew has the higher ceiling, because Drew has Drew's more likely to play 30 minutes than Maxey, right? Like, Maxey might just play 40 minutes no matter what. I think Drew can definitely give you 40 plus fantasy points, but so can Maxey. So I'm more on the Maxey side, but that's strictly because the minute projection is so teeter-tottered for me. I got 38 on Maxey, and I still think there's room for 40. And then if Seth Curry ended up not playing here, I mean, Maxey might take 2 sips of water during timeouts and stay out there. Whereas Drew Holiday, if the game got lopsided, and like I said, it's the world champions against the shorthanded Sixers on night 2 of a back-to-back. This game has every right to be a blowout. I was stunned by a 6-point spread. Conspiracy theories out there. If let's just say that did happen, There's still George Hill. There's still Pat Connaughton. There's still Grayson Allen. There's still other guys out there that can eat some minutes here. That's really not the case for the Sixers. So I'm more on the Maxey side, but that's definitely going to be probably the way higher owned side. So deal with it or roll with that as you must. What do we think of Lou Will tonight, especially given Bogdan is questionable? I'm probably past the days of Lou Will being Lou Will. But like as a stocking stuffer play, go like I don't know, you fit him in there. But I'd be leaning more if Bogdanovich and DeAndre Hunter were out. I would probably expect the main beneficiaries to be Cam Reddish and Kevin Huerter, and that's just how I kind of see that happening. So that's all I got to say about that. Just stack the clips and Blazers print that money. Let's go. If you have any reservations on any of these 76ers tonight, tail end of a back-to-back, just call up 2 G Leaguers, which gives me hesitation on both Maxey Curry and Cork Moss. Your thoughts on Philly? So I saw it earlier. I'll see if I can find the quote on Twitter. But I did see that Doc Rivers had said something about a deeper rotation tonight, and I did not know what the F that meant in terms of how they achieve that. I guess calling up some G Leaguers would be a way to make that happen. Them calling up G Leaguers with Seth Curry questionable also makes me think like you need 8 active players, and maybe that's a fail-safe for Curry to miss. Says Doc Rivers will expand rotation to 10 players temporarily. So I still don't expect like massive minutes for the back end guys, but a little bit of relief for the I guess the long guys. Says Doc Rivers said his Philadelphia 76ers quote ran out of gas in their loss on Monday to the Knicks, as they have for the last week or so. Sixers ran an 8-man rotation against the Knicks. That's not unusual. Blah 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 blah. Philadelphia's currently without blah blah blah. Rivers said he'll expand his rotation to 10 players to help ease the burden. So I think I hate Doc Rivers. I don't know who, but I'm gonna do it. I don't know. He gave Paul Reed like 5 or 6 minutes yesterday, right? 5 minutes, maybe Niang. I don't know. Maybe he's just trying to take the top off some of these guards, and so maybe instead of 40 minutes, you get 38, 36, something like that. I don't know that you turn the keys to the car over to the G Leaguers too much, but you stagger them in there. So I would appreciate that if I'm a player. But as a front end guy, I don't think that changes my approach here. I don't think the prices are adjusted enough for me to be away. You know what I'm saying? The person that would get bumps would be DeLon Wright, Cam Reddish, and Gallinari. I think Gallinari's been more benefit. Unless you just mean like backup ball handling duty and usage off the bench, sure. I think Kevin Huerter like isn't lost in the sauce here. Gun, what are your top 3 favorite under 4,200 or under on DK position? Not a factor. And thank you, bro. Man, I appreciate your manners. A top favorite under 4,200. Man, this is I just have to go with what the projections say, I guess. I definitely think there's some wiggle room for this if Bogdanovich and Hunter were to be out, right? So let's just go to the projections. Let's take 4,100 and below. It's sort of from most fantasy points at least. Anthony Simons, I guess that would be one. George Hill's a starter. It's not pretty. He's a starter. Go for it. Whiteside, if you thought that game could get a little lopsided, 14 minutes. We know it can be over a point per minute, maybe 1.2, 1.3. It's a center spot. That's a lucrative spot, but I guess you can get away with Bobby Portis in the forward. 14, 19, 13, 15 minutes, over a point per minute. Against Atlanta, he dropped 17. If you're happy, if you honestly say, hey, I'll take 15 to 20 right now, no matter what, like I would take that, then go for it. And I think you can paint a range of outcomes for the Utah Jazz to maybe stun a potentially shorthanded Hawks on a back-to-back into the altitude, into Utah, which is a tough spot to be in. So I don't mind that. I was going to look up something. Oh, I wanted to look up blocks per game allowed for the Hawks. So we're gonna go through blocks per game allowed. See where Atlanta's at. Atlanta, about half. I was gonna say if Atlanta gave up like an aggressive amount more of blocks per game allowed, yeah, it would bode even stronger for Whiteside. So I guess to answer your question, it would be Anthony Simon. I would just have to go by the projection. Simons, George Hill, Whiteside, and then based on the availability or lack thereof of a Bogdanovich, of a DeAndre Hunter, I would sprinkle in these Atlanta guys, Philly called up Bolt Springer or Henry for what it's worth from G League. Obviously not in play, but if they take minutes away from Philly guys, it could be a real problem. Yeah, I wouldn't. I don't know if Seth Curry doesn't play. I don't really think I could get to more than like a 12-minute projection on those guys. And if Seth Curry did play, I still think you're fine if your starters get 36 minutes, right? If Maxey goes from 38 to 36, 35, I'm fine with that. You would think they want a little bit more beef. I mean, they're basically running 4 guards out there. That's crazy. Simons is really good. I like that kid. Billups loves this guard. Yeah, I'm fine with. I like that quite a bit. Also, who do you side with at util on DraftKings? Nurkic or Capella, and why? Nurkic or Capella, and why? Probably Nurkic without even thinking about it. Capella back-to-back on the road against Rudy Gobert. I mean, he's a traditional center. Capella is, and that's where Gobert gets his Defensive Player of the Year money, right? So probably Nurkic. Last time out versus Utah, Capella played 36 minutes, and Nurkic had his last rotation cut short by blowout. Yeah, I think the matchup's better for Nurkic, and I just playing the matchup here. I don't think Capella. I mean, I guess Capella has opened up his minutes lately, so maybe I don't know. I still got that 28-minute Capella in my mind, but against Utah, I just don't see a ton of upside. Right, the rebounds probably take a hit with Gobert. Capella's really just a score in the paint guy anyway, and Gobert's really hard to score on. So I probably have to give it to Nurkic. With that said, I'm not that in love with Nurkic either, but in a 1v1, I go Nurkic. What do you think of Pat Connaughton? Connaughton's fine. I am no longer allowed to donate. My total is $69.97, and by the rule of Gronk, I have to stop. I appreciate the 69. Nurkic had 2 fantasy points per minute last game. He really only gets 25 minutes a game. Yeah. Felt like Dame might go under owned on Fanduel. Maybe. Damian Lillard was pretty high owned on that last slate, over 40%. But I think it's people understood how bad the Lakers were. And then if people today end up prioritizing the Sixers guards, the Paul Georges, the Giannis guys like that, I could see it, but Dame is so cheap on FanDuel. I don't know what the context of under own is on a 3-game slate. Sorry about all the Philly questions. Do you think Milton bounces back tonight at 5.2 on DK, 28 minutes? Very, very possible. I will have Shake Milton, and then I would be even more aggressive on Shake Milton if Seth Curry was out. Yo, Tyler Braun, man, I appreciate that sub. Chat, I gotta get into the rundfs.com VIP voice chat. If you guys want to continue the conversation, you know how to find me. Rundfs.com. Get yourself a week pass. Try it out. We will be back tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, chopping up the slate. I think Raj will be back for that one, so check that out. I still don't understand Portland Center's rotation. I think they'd be more competitive if Nurkic got more minutes. I agree. Nurkic is a beast. A beast. Yo, hey, I appreciate that, Christian Lemons. Appreciate that sub. Welcome to the channel, man. We'll be back tomorrow. Anything else? All right, that's it. Chat, twitter.com/gundacker. If you got anything else for me, DMs are open. Otherwise, I'll see you guys tomorrow. I hope you crush it tonight. I love you guys. Appreciate you making part of my day. Be part of your day. Good luck. God bless. And go win some money.